What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thanks for checking us out. My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be discussing strange things recorded while people were sleeping. It took me a little while to figure out what an engaging title for this video would be. I know for a fact that so many of you will be just as fascinated by the information here as I was once I put it all together, but it really is hard to explain and boil down to just a few words or a title sentence. Edgar Allan Poe said, quote, "Sleep, those little slices of death, how I loathe them," end quote. And that makes me wonder just what was going on with Edgar Allan Poe while he was sleeping. The realm of sleep and the world of nightmares and dreams have always been places of great mystery, and for all of our modern day understanding of the universe and everything else, especially here in this community, that we've either already come to or are on the precipice of understanding, the realm and worlds of sleep and dreams and nightmares are still very far beyond the reach of our basic understanding, even the most basic understanding. We don't know, not really, why we dream, what those dreams mean, for example. Sure, people have their own opinions, and they certainly do vary depending on who you're asking, but for something so common that each and every one of us deals with every day, every night, sleep is still so incredibly and wholly elusive as far as even beginning to know for sure anything about it, or delving at all into it. Think about it for a minute, if you will. While we're sleeping, we're basically incapacitated for hours on end, all but dead to the outside world altogether, and probably in the most vulnerable state we could find ourselves in, at least for a nightly basis. And yet we simply can't figure it out, and for the most part, most of us don't even think about it or don't even want to think about it all that much. Literally anything can happen while we're asleep, and we won't have any idea that it happened. In fact, I've talked to you all a lot about entities that literally feed off of us and our energy, some of whom actually feed on our souls while we sleep, and yet it's something we still do. And we still do it because we have to do it. Humans need sleep. Period. We have no real choice or say in the matter. Not only for those of you that sleep alone, but most especially for you guys. Do we really know at all what goes on around us while we're sleeping? Obviously, in the last 10 years or so, there's been more than a few apps that have tried to get to the bottom of at least what's going on around us while we sleep, whether it be here in our realm, wherever we decided to pass out, or in some other place somewhere we've yet to really understand or discover. And many people use these apps to record what's happening in their space while they're sleeping. Some of them definitely wish they hadn't bothered, though, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. This has already been a super duper long introduction, so without anything else, let's jump right in. Our first instance of a very creepy recording taken while someone was asleep comes from a witness who was 28 years old at the time. Her name was Robin Esplin, and she lived in a house in Cramlington, Northumberland, England, with her 8-year-old son and their 2 dogs. Robin and her son hadn't ever had any sort of paranormal activity in their home as far as they were aware, but when she decided to try out a new sleep app on her phone, she was in for a terrifying surprise. This particular app is used to record the user's quality of sleep as well as any disturbances that might come up during the night. It's almost like it makes sure you're getting a good night's sleep and calls to your attention things in your environment that might be making it so that your sleep isn't as restful as it should or could be. On the evening of April 26, 2022, Robin turned the app on her phone and went to sleep, more than likely not expecting to hear anything too out of the ordinary. After all, she was only really using the app to try it out, and not because she thought anything out of the ordinary or paranormal was going on in her home or her bedroom while she slept. Robin had been struggling a little bit with her sleep at that time, and she'd gotten the app a week earlier, though she'd only used it once or twice, and she hadn't picked up anything concerning or strange at that point. She went into her bedroom and went to sleep alone, as she always did, and when she checked the app in the morning, she got a bizarre and very creepy surprise. I'm sure. There were a few recordings on the app that night, one of her getting up to get a drink and use the toilet, some noises of her dog named Alan snoring loudly at the foot of the bed in the background, and that was basically it. Until, that is, around 1:10 in the morning, when a loud male voice suddenly broke through the peaceful rhythm of the nighttime noises in her home. A voice which Robin later described as, quote, having a Cockney accent, end quote, and it loudly asked one question. However, who he was speaking to is still unknown. The voice boomed, quote, "Can I rip the sheets down?" end quote. Immediately after that, her dog, who had previously been soundly asleep and even snoring, barked one time before the clip ended. Robin has said of the recording, quote, "I saw the recording under sleep talking and it took me ages to work out what it said. But now I realize what it said and it's as clear as day. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. It totally freaked me out and I'm going to be scared to go to sleep now. It's definitely a man's voice. It's clear as day. But there's no one here that it could have been and I don't know anyone with a Cockney accent. What's getting me is that it's definitely Alan's bark at the end of the clip. So he's heard something in order to bark because if there's any sort of noise, he'll start yapping away. It's only me that's in the bedroom and I have 2 small dogs and my son who was asleep in his own room. The TV wasn't on or anything, so I'm totally freaked out. I've Googled it and tried to do some research into the app to see if it's a glitch that has happened to a lot of people, but absolutely nothing is coming up. The sleep app itself is rated as number 1 and accuracy is said to be above 90%, end quote. By the way, the app Robin said she used is called Shut Eye, in case you're wondering. I tell you guys all the time that there are spirits everywhere, all around us, at all times, no matter where we are or what we're doing, but that it almost never ends up to where a house is haunted. They just go about their business, only sometimes crossing over into this realm, and even then, it's not something most of us would ever even be aware of when they do it. I believe a spirit was wandering through Robin's home, and when it saw her sleeping soundly in bed, it wanted to do something to her, and I believe it wanted to do something to scare her. This would definitely be a lower vibrational entity or spirit, but it didn't act on the impulse to rip the covers off of her, and that's a good thing. Maybe who or whatever it asked for permission from wouldn't let it. I don't know. Who knows? Since I know the skeptics will ask, let me finish this up by saying there were no signs of any break-ins in the house that night, nor at any other time. All of the doors and windows were locked and always were, as she and her young son slept in that house alone every night. Every other recording captured that night was accurate, like when she got up for some water and to use the toilets, and the dog's incessant snoring in the background of everything. So there's literally no reason why anyone should think that just that one recording was some sort of glitch or anomaly. Also, who breaks into someone's house to watch them sleep for a couple of seconds and only consider pulling covers down, but considering it loud enough for the person to wake up and to disturb the dog? I don't know. I mean, I always tell you guys, our mind will convince ourselves of literally anything to not have to accept what's right in front of us, particularly regarding and concerning the paranormal. A Reddit user calling herself Red Wants Blue 80 and who says her real name is Jenny also had a bizarre and scary experience while using a sleep app, and she posted about it on the site. It was 2013 and Jenny was using the app called Sleep as Android in order to improve her insomnia and allow her to just generally sleep better at night. She'd used the app every night for about a month and had no issues with it at all and no strange recordings. Mainly, it was her own sporadic coughing and snoring in the night that she was picking up. On October 30th, 2013, all of that would change. Jenny slept in bed with her 3-year-old child, and when she checked the recording for that evening the next morning, she immediately noticed a very strange and persistent clicking noise. The clicking noise coming from somewhere in the room with her and her child would eventually turn into something very bizarre indeed. Jenny said, quote, "I use an app called Sleep as Android to improve my sleep. One of the features is that it records your nighttime noises, snoring, sleep talk, cover ruffles, coughing, etc. I've been using the app since October 1st of 2013. I've never caught anything other than sounds created by me changing positions or coughing or something like that, although I've been told several times I talk in my sleep by other people. On 10:30 at 2:04 a.m., I caught something very weird. To set up, this night I was sleeping in my bed. My 3-year-old was with me that night as he's scared of the dark. It was just the 2 of us in the whole house. The next night, I decided to go through and delete my recordings and saw this particular record. In it, you can hear the same clicks that start to get louder over the course of the recording. Eventually, you can hear me say, quote, "What are you doing?" end quote. And immediately after, there's a deep voice that says, "Nothing." The clicks become very loud at that point, and at the very end of the recording, you hear the same voice say, "That's them." I'm pretty creeped out by this. I don't remember being awake that night. The only plausible explanation is that I answered my own sleeping talking, but the voice doesn't even sound like me or something I would even be able to emulate. It definitely doesn't sound like a voice my preschooler could emulate either. I have no idea what those clicks could be. I keep a fan going at night for white noise, but the clicks sound like they're coming from right near my phone, which is placed right by me on the bedside table and not near the fan. I want to say that I picked up the clicks a few times on recordings before, but deleted them thinking it was nothing. This is the first time I've ever heard anything with them though, end quote. Jenny obviously had no conscious memory of any of this happening or of the conversation itself, and she insists all the doors and windows in the home were locked tight, as that's something she was very diligent about as well, since it was just her and her very young child in the home. Her post on Reddit brought a whole slew of people trying to help her figure out what in the world could have been going on, but no one ever came up with any actual answers, and that's more than likely because there's no way of actually knowing, in any real sense of the word, what all of this was about. Jenny continued to monitor the situation and kept using the app every single night. After months of continuing to do this, she hadn't gotten anything else at all that could even be considered scary or similar to the original recording in any way. It was business as usual after that one time. She posted another thread and said that even though she hadn't had any more experiences in the home, either while sleeping or while awake, she decided she was just too creeped out to stay in that home and found a new place to live just months after the first incident. She went on to say in another post, quote, "This happened 4 months ago. Since then, I have had no more weird voice recordings, but there were 1 or 2 more instances of the clicking noise waking me up at night." So this wasn't even recordings. This was her being woken up by this audible noise. During one of the times that it woke me up, I sat up and tried to hear where the sound was coming from, even though I was pretty scared. The sound seemed to be coming from the area of my fan, about 12 feet away from my bed, but the closer I got, it started to fade away. When I got to my fan, it wasn't coming from my fan at all that I could tell, and it just stopped. Very weird. Also, I took someone else's advice and walked through my house shortly after the clicking and asked that whatever it was, please leave my house, and that my son and I were scared. I felt like a complete ding-dong doing that though, but I was up for trying anything. I was scared. Also, as suggested by several people, I've beefed up my home security, changed locks, that kind of thing. I'd say nothing weird has happened for about 3 months now. I am completely fine with that. This experience really messed with me for a while, end quote. So, of course, my first reaction to what happened to Jenny was that she was visited by extraterrestrials that she and or her son had some sort of possible connection with, whether that be by DNA, past life experiences, or something else altogether with these ETs, but it's impossible to know. What do you guys think this one was? Let me know in the comments below, please, and let's move on. Also from 2013, we have a woman who said she had a creepy and bizarre experience while using the Pillow Sleep Cycle Alarm Clock app, which is an app that monitors sleep as well, and she started using it because for months on end, she kept waking up in the middle of the night at the exact same time every night for no rational or discernible reason. She recorded dozens of sleep sessions with the app without incident, but one night that all changed, and what she heard caused her blood to run cold. Our witness said, quote, "There are 33 recordings. The majority of them are just me shuffling my blanket around or small groans. The one at 4:42 a.m. absolutely terrifies me, though. You can hear me whimpering a little bit, but then there's a very masculine voice. I'm a female, if you haven't guessed. He's mumbling while I groan in my sleep, and then near the end of the 10-second recording, it's very clear that he says, 'I am,' end quote. In my opinion, this is more than likely something lower vibrational or demonic just by the way her body, while in a sleeping state, reacted to it. She was whimpering and seemingly very scared, and the statement alone is more terrifying in my opinion. I would be extremely careful if I were this woman because it sounds to me like she's got some sort of demonic attachment that one day could start manifesting in a terrifying haunting of herself in her home. She's also primed for possession, in my opinion, based on this recording, or so it seems to me. Are these just strange app malfunctions? Is it the person taking on other personalities and talking in other voices in their sleep? Could actual intruders, like human intruders, be involved? Skeptics will say anything is possible and even likely in these scenarios, but I say there's no way in hell, and these people experience something very real and most likely as well something very dangerous, at least in some of the cases. I might start using a sleep app myself just for the amazing content I'm sure will come along with it for me and you guys who watch my channel. Let me know if you want me to get one, all right? Because they're really not that expensive. Sometimes in our most vulnerable states and in the places we're most comfortable, things are happening and going on all around us that we aren't aware of or possibly can't be aware of due to merely our own humanity. An anonymous man posted on the internet that he'd recorded something strange while using the Dream Talk Recorder app. He wrote, quote, "It recorded some bizarre things the other night, which I'm sure were just the ramblings of a dreaming brain, but in one of them, it almost sounds like a whispering is occurring at the same time as me making a strange noise. I don't know any other languages, so the others are a bit weird," end quote. I don't know really what he was referencing there, because what I just gave to you all was all of the information I could find about this person, and nothing more of their post was readily available. I guess he's saying he recorded himself speaking in an unknown language, which is terrifying, because whenever someone does that, the first thing I will start investigating into is whether or not they're possessed or dealing with some sort of demonic attachment. Demons are no joke, no matter what capacity they are in your life. And just because you might not believe in them or in anything I've said in this video or do on this channel, it doesn't make it any less real or these situations any less dire. I tried so hard, guys, to find more instances for you all of people who recorded terrifying things while they were sleeping and or with sleep apps, but apparently it's not really a widespread or definitely not a widely discussed issue, at least not yet. Therefore, I'm going to leave you all here for now, but I will be downloading an app myself, and that way we can not only discuss what I pick up, but I'll also be able to allow you all to hear it for yourselves. Please stay tuned. That's all I have for you today, guys. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. If you enjoyed hanging out with me, spread the love by sharing this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure your notification bell is on and click to all so you get notified of every single thing that I do. In the description box, you will find important links, ways to donate to the channel, PayPal, Cash App, my Amazon wish list gift link, also links to all 14 of my books for Kindle, paperback, and Audible. If you can't find the link for the book that you're looking for in the description box, I would just recommend you go to Amazon, type in Gemma Jade Books, make it easier on yourself. Follow me on other social medias. I do a little bit of Snapchat. I don't really use X much, but I do use Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube are like my four mains. Whatever I post on TikTok and YouTube, that's what I put on Instagram. There's not really anything new on Instagram, but if you're only on YouTube, you might see some things from TikTok I couldn't put, because even though YouTube and TikTok have like the same music, like I can find the same music clips from the same artist in the exact same way on each of those apps. If every once in a while, if I do a TikTok with a certain song or a certain song clip, and I go to put it on Amazon, they copyright strike me for the song, even though they have the song too. So anyway, you'll find something new. There's things on TikTok that I can't put on YouTube, and there's things on YouTube that I don't put on TikTok, and Instagram just kind of has it all thrown in there. So please make sure you're subscribed to and following me on, at the very least, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, if you would be so kind. Also, I need 10,000 followers on TikTok to be monetized. I don't even have 2,000 yet. So if you guys can please go over there and not just follow me, but engage with my content, like, bookmark, share, comment, all of the things. All right, and keep supporting the YouTube shorts, my live stream on Friday nights. There's a lot more coming once the summer is over. Be kind to each other, guys. It doesn't cost anything. Be kind to yourselves and never accept anything less than others being kind to you. If nobody told you today, you are amazing. You are perfectly imperfect, just the way you are meant to be and made. And I believe in you. I got your back. Always go in grace, smile at a stranger, and I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.